Hello, everyone, and welcome to TM Weekend Madness Battle for the Scroll. I'm Aaron, known over on Board Game Arena as webberaj, and today I'm joined by Claybo. Hey, Claybo, thanks for doing this with me, buddy.
What's up, Weber?
Oh,
Thanks for bringing me back.
your video's a little froze. I'm just gonna do a thing and try to get that bit more pretty. There we go. I think that's coming through now. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for doing this with me. I appreciate having you on board to help talk me through this game because we have a really wild game for you today. We have a 5-player game for today, and we have both Fire and Ice factions and fan factions on, which everyone knows I'm a huge expert with. So, Claybo, I'm hoping you can help me wade through some of this madness.
I got you.
All right, I'm just giving the folks a heads up to that they can start the game. Uh, Great. Let's jump over. We've got a game board. Let's take a look at this stuff. Wow. Okay, that is a lot of factions to choose from. This might be the first
I
time I've
thought the
seen them all.
exact same thing.
Might be the first time I've seen them all up at the same time. I'm just gonna zoom in slightly on that just so we can have a look at this pretty artwork. Not really sure what to make of this. Insane. Okay. Anyhow, let's try to break down the setup here a touch. Also, folks, you'll notice there's like it looks a little strange in the upper left-hand corner of where the board is. This overlay that I've built does not take into consideration having both fan factions and Fire and Ice factions all being auctioned at the same time, so things are goofy. But once we actually have 4 factions and we're just into a normal auction, things should hopefully look a bit more normal. We are on the revised base map, which I don't think I flagged previously, just to add a bit more chaos here. Claybo, what do you make of this? Are you? And we have Fire and Ice endgame scoring on as well. This is the greatest distance, connected distance between any structure for extra scoring. So, given all that, greatest distance, Fire and Ice scoring, revised base, fan factions and Fire and Ice factions on, and this track and pass tiles. What do you see in Claybo? Help me out here.
I mean, there's just going to be a lot of chaos going on. Depending on if we get any vanilla factions, there's going to be a lot of unpredictability, especially with a lot of these new factions, the fan factions. We see the goat factions, the Denion Gear. I don't know how you pronounce that, but the goats guys. Those are some pretty strong factions.
Which are the ghost
So
guys?
depending on it,
The ones that were picked?
they look like a bunch. They look like a goat to me. The
Oh,
gray
oh,
faction,
goat.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Deneon Giefer. Someone help me out here. Someone write that phonetically in chat. I'm working on Deneon Giefer.
Right, right, yeah. But we do see a little more normal pick with Darklings,
Yeah,
which I'm gonna go ahead and think that Darklings are gonna finish, top half, just because everyone kind of knows how to have a strong Darklings game, and they're kind of bulletproof. No matter what you throw at Darklings, they're always gonna be fine given any situation.
totally.
Even with even No, I do think the Fire and Ice extra scoring, which is total distance, I think that can actually help the Darklings because they can usually get a pretty good engine early game and then find some way to make very far spread out structures. So I think
Right.
that's pretty solid for them.
Yep. Makes sense. Yeah, I don't really know how to evaluate this track and pass tiles and make some suggestion for which factions I think would be good. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of this track, at least if you're looking at it from like a base map perspective, kind of follows a lot of classic stronghold factions, whether you're playing nomads or witches or something like that. Opening with a stronghold, sometimes you can get a town round 2 with that level 3 structure. Certainly possible in if you open stronghold round 3 is right around when you want to build a temple. This would be true for giants. Giants, temple, nomads, etc. And then late track, you have some dwelling opportunities. Maybe you build a sanctuary in round 5, etc. But
Yeah. Uh, Another rather easy faction, mermaids are picked to keep things a little simple.
yep,
I wouldn't be surprised to see if we just see the one fan faction being the goat factions. and then everyone trying to figure out, just how to play them.
Right.
I know the goats have like different costs for all their structures. They have like weird conversions, so they can do a lot of crafty stuff, but it is hard to get their engine building, which I don't
Okay.
think is very good. Yeah, so I don't think it's very good for the like the total distance scoring, because I think you
Mm-hmm.
need usually you need a really solid engine to be able to connect all of your structures at the end, but
Yep.
also to be able to just spread out. So yeah, I'm not feeling the goats right off the bat, just gut feeling. But I think on this map, mermaids have some interesting plays because obviously down in the bottom left they have H2,
Yeah.
I2, and I1, so they can easily get to the corner of a map, and then I mean that always helps when you can get to one of the corner hexes. So mermaids are, a big contender for that total distance, just given that.
Yeah, totally. Like A11, maybe down to I1 or something, which is totally doable.
Right,
Like that's not even
right.
like crazy stuff. Yeah.
That's
That
almost normal.
yeah, totally. And that's one thing that I should point out if folks are not super familiar with revised base. It does sort of rebalance the factions. I don't think the game is the board's any more balanced than base map, but there's certainly some rebalance. And one of the things is that mermaids are definitely, I think, a fairly strong faction on revised base. Um, yeah, they can play in the center quite a bit more. This E7 hex, not being gray means that D5 into E7 is totally a thing. Like you can, it's not just build a temple
Mhm.
on D5. Like you can actually kind of town around here and poke to the south, which is really nice. Obviously, this whole stretch here, I mean, E4 to H2 is straight from base map, but you kind of continue on that theme of one spade opening up two hexes right into the south. Like this stretch from E4 down to I1 is pretty nuts because you basically have two opportunities where a spade is opening up a whole new, dwelling for you on one ship. And so it's it's just like very easy to get out a ton of early dwellings with mermaid on revised base.
Yeah. And
uh
again, another simple faction, nomads.
yep. Yeah, totally. That's awesome. Okay, so this is cool. Oh, this is a 5-player game. I was gonna say, all right, we're done. um I can handle just the goats, but we haven't actually talked about the players at all. I wanted to sort of note who's picked what, and then it's on to me. We haven't actually introduced these players. Webberaj in seat one. I came to my attention. This is Halai. Probably a lot of people knew that. I guess I'm just finding this out now. So I guess this is Halai playing in seat one as Webberaj. Who picked the goats? So Halai picking the sort of more spicy, interesting thing. El Jazz
Mm.
selecting Darklings. Georgie on Mermaids, JDI on Nomads, and then we will have Civ playing, picking in seat 5.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess I'm not surprised to see if Weber is Halai. I'm not surprised at all to see him pick a new faction. He said, in past interviews, he likes coming up with new strategies on the fly,
Yeah,
and that is exactly what the fan factions have to offer. I mean, you have to come up with things on the fly because
right,
there's no real concrete strategies for these guys yet. So,
right. Also, everyone's seeing me move
hmm,
some stuff around right now. Clay, this is probably looking silly. I realized part of the reason why there was that goofy stuff in the top left. It's that this overlay wasn't really built for a 5-player game. So I just sorry about that, folks. I just drug these weird looking see-through boxes will become the future player boards. So it's I'll have to scroll down a little bit. Usually this thing was built so that I can just sort of park once the auction is over. I can just park the screen and stop moving around and you can see everything. But I will have to scroll down to be able to see Civ's board. But anyhow, folks are used to that on most streams anyhow. Just thought I'd point that out. So we have a 5th faction,
John.
and it is another. It's the Archivist, right? The Architects, yeah. The Architects.
Yeah, the architects.
Okay. So no Fire and Ice factions selected, just 2 fan factions.
So I will just say a couple of things about both of these fan factions. I mean, if you look at their boards, they're pretty self-explanatory. But the goats, when you build their stronghold, they give 2 priests income. So that is a really interesting
For who?
little, I'm just gonna keep calling them the goat
Yeah,
factions.
yeah,
It's
let's do
the
it. The
gray
goat. Yep,
faction.
the goat faction. So say that again about priests, because this is me hearing this for the first time. How's this thing work?
Yeah. So when you build the, you don't get the income. Sorry, but when you build the stronghold, you immediately. Actually, maybe I'm. It's after you build the stronghold, you immediately gain 2 priests. So it's not
Yeah,
an income. It's just like
sure.
that.
It's kind of
You
Darklings
can.
esque.
Yeah, and also you can build a town as if the stronghold was a sanctuary,
Right.
meaning you only need 3 buildings. So it helps in forming, early towns. So seeing the track, that's really good in terms of round 2 is a town. Round 3 there's priests to cults. So maybe there's some
Hmm.
synergy there with the goats. Um, and as for the architects, these guys,
Yeah,
they
let's
have
take
a
a
lot of
look.
cool things. But yeah, so when you build the stronghold, it unlocks like this special action, which
Okay,
you can
yep.
basically uh, it allows you to move bridges.
Yep. Move
So you
one
have to
already
have
built
already
bridge. So you build the bridge, and then the special action allows you to move one already built bridge to a different position where you could build a bridge.
right.
And you gain
Yeah.
2 VP.
And, mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So there's a lot of weird things with like you can like build up for towns and then split it into 2 towns. It calls for
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. So some
Uh,
weird bridge
they can
shenanigans.
also they're also not um, they don't have to spend power to buy a bridge. They can actually spend a priest to build a bridge, which is just 1 priest, and then those bridges in return count for 1 extra power. So these are just a couple things that throughout the game we'll have to memorize
One extra
as they do it
power with
because
respect to building towns. Like their bridges are a level 1 structure. Is that what we're getting at here?
yeah.
Yeah. But they
Yep.
don't count as a building structure, so they couldn't go sanctuary, trading post, bridge, fire 2 or something. They still would need another building. It's a point, or does it function like a landscape where it's a
Yeah.
structure as well?
I think it just purely is an extra point and not a
Yeah.
structure, like you said. Uh,
And then
so
and then they dig
the,
for a
the,
spade cheaper across from a bridge is the other thing that I'm reading. So if you build a bridge
yes,
somewhere,
that
it's
is true.
everything
I
is
forgot to
one
mention.
hex cheaper. Does that mean that is it one hex cheaper but still a minimum of 1 spade? Or in other words, could architects build to a
Yep.
yellow hex? Would they still need a single spade, or can they build as though it were a native red?
Yeah, it's minimum of 1.
Minimum of 1. So really, they're building bridges to greens and browns to make them single spadeable.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
if it helps.
that's interesting.
Um,
Okay, spades can go to
the
0.
bids are actually
Fatty. Oh, yeah, he's Fatty's saying yellows and grays are like reds across bridges. So if they build a bridge to a gray, they
really.
just build on it. I'm trying to imagine how that would work in the user interface. Presumably, it's still a dig action. Like they still have to terraform it. It's just they can just hard dig it for nothing or something. I don't know. Anyhow, we'll see. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but like those both seem interesting, but not like particularly broken abilities, especially like the goats. Like they have extra ability to get workers. Their stronghold is like helps them build towns, but otherwise like building a big building for 2 priests, like meh. I don't mean to be trashing on the
Right.
goats too much if someone else is like has like solved them and thinks they're amazing.
No,
But they
no.
they seem like just kind of a I don't know, an averagey faction or maybe even slightly below average. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, the bids kind of reflect that too, because Darklings, Mermaids are already and Nomads, all 15 points or more bid down. Architects are sitting at 40, so maybe they think they're a little better than goats.
Architects sandwiched architect
Sandwich architects, that's a good point.
at 40.
But you do, yeah, I don't know if having first, being able to take like your first pass tile, you can either take a spade or a ship pass tile. It looks like on the revised map, you can secure a lot of your early reds, but but you kind of forego an early stronghold in that scenario,
Do you want an early
which I think is totally worth it.
Okay, so is Architect Stronghold good? Is it actually good? It's not particularly economic though. Like I know the track says build a stronghold, do some stuff in round 2,
Yeah,
temple up in
no, I don't.
3, but it's like architects aren't going to follow that, right? They'll just temple.
Yeah, you're not gonna build right. Correct.
Okay. Okay. Um, who has 2 worker dwellings? Oh, yikes. Oh, the goats. Okay. Okay, I'm catching up heroic.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
just right. Sorry, I keep cutting you off, Clay. But someone made the comparison to swarmlings. They kind of have, they have that their base income is 2 workers, but then they have a 2 worker cost for building dwellings.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess I do kind of see why they're 40. Like they just don't seem good. Like here's an annoying question. What is good about them? So far they have an ability that seems like it might be helpful. But like really they just have a nerf. It's like your dwellings cost 2 workers to build, or you can just use priests to build them. So they're right? Like I assume that's sort of the thing. Like you need way more workers to build your dwellings, but here's this cool way that you can like get better worker production. But that all just cancels itself out. So basically their dwellings cost a priest and 2 workers. So they're a gray faction with no positive ability, and their stuff just costs more. Is that it? They're just a nerfed generic gray faction?
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Like we would prefer dwarves with no tunneling ability than goats. I don't know.
That's true. Also, their power bowls are very suspect. They only start with 4 power in bowl 2.
Oh, really?
Yikes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll move this out of the way. Oh, this just seems... Who built this? Who is this? I can't zoom in enough. Dave Edwards. We need to have a conversation with Dave. Dave, are you listening? Okay. All right, so let's chat about these. Wow, mermaids are just getting bid down. Wow. Okay. So our architects take the spade. Nomads are pretty stoked to have a big building tile and just open strongholds. That seems awesome. Mermaids take worker power and get double digged. So they just open temple something and a bunch of dwellings. Seems lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Darklings get a priest. Then fire. Seems fine. And then the goats, which are bad, we've decided, start with a worker or 3 power. And they probably don't use the ship range, so it's literally 3 power or a worker for a sandwiched faction that has a negative ability. No, they're not sandwiched. Sorry, they're the end of a 3 in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if this was me, I would definitely just play one of the factions I know how to play.
Yeah.
Or I guess, at some point you have to switch off. So I guess, the thing about red is like you do get to start with 2 red dwellings, which is, always nice when you're not the Giants, because usually the maps are pretty well built for red just in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you could get an extremely like fast engine going with red. Like, do you take a spade or you just take like temp ship and just take a ton of reds?
Yeah, you could just open temple 2 dwellings. You could just build 2 reds. You wouldn't even need any power. That's pretty tempting.
Right.
I mean that's always a hilarious thing when you can just open temple 3 dwellings and not even use any power. So because the thing is if red starts on the wow, red is getting bid a lot here. This is nuts. So I wonder, like, do 10 points basically just come off the architects? Like I thought they were like 30, like high 30s when all the other 3 base factions were like around where they are. So like, gosh, do mermaids, nomads, and darklings still just need to come down a bunch before these goat things? I guess that's Goat's ability. They just start with 40 victory points. Okay, but my point is based on starting spots, Gray is F4, D7 here. And they dig down to E9, F6, right? Because architects are going to start on C5 and D4 probably. Right? Yeah. So Gray responds by starting on D7 and then digging down to E9. Maybe they, if they can get single spade. I don't know if they can with their power, but hopefully. But then the point is it's like where do architects use this spade? They need to like get a priest action. So
that's a good point. Yeah, they might.
So maybe they do take temp ship.
They might not want to have to deal with all that. Yeah.
So here's the crazy thing, Clay. If I'm architects and I just go temp ship and you're nomads and you're in fourth seat playing me, do you take the spade or are you still opening stronghold here and then mermaids in third seat get a spade?
Ooh. I don't know. I feel like having those two workers with nomads is extreme. Like the utility behind it is really good.
Especially with Darklings like Darklings are going to fight you for that worker action, right? And if you open Stronghold with no worker action as nomads, it's a little sus.
Yeah. But that is like something that could happen for mermaids. They could land the spade. Yeah,
mermaids might land spade, which means Darklings. I don't know whether they take worker power or priest. I still never know the answer to that. So Gray is getting a pass tile. Where do they start? They start Earth Air as their starting influence. I don't know. I think they'd love to start on worker power so they could ensure they get a spade down and just like dig E9 and build on F6. Because otherwise they might not get a dig here. Otherwise they get a priest, they send it to Earth. I don't know what they do. You can't upgrade to ship. You can't upgrade ship and even get out a dwelling as like a backup to getting spade locked as Gray here.
Ooh.
Like it's just like as green, sometimes that can be your backup, right? If you don't get a spade or like if you can't get on temp ship, then you can at least like buy a priest and upgrade shipping and sometimes get down a dwelling or something. But I just don't see like Gray either gets a spade or they just like don't really do anything in round one.
Right. Yeah, this is
it's crazy.
Yeah, and they have no way of like just scoring by themselves, like they have to build towns, they have to score off the pass tiles. They've got to build an engine, but I mean, this is going to be tough for them. Even though they have green's not in the game, so they should be able to take green hexes a little easier.
Yeah.
It does very tricky.
Well, and also on this map, like I feel like mermaids are a little bit more in your face, right? Like they might be. Like mermaids would like to take E7 here, right?
Yeah, I think them getting temp ship could also decide on if they want to go for E7 or not. Because I mean, if architects take temp ship, you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh, what do you mean, mermaids E7. Taking temp ship and doing like E7 to H4 kind of stuff?
They could do that, or if Darklings left C1 open, which again, not sure if they will, but they could take C1 and then go up to that side of the map. I really have no idea what mermaids would do. Because also, like, F3 is always an interesting dig spot for mermaids on this map.
Oh, that's right, F3. Yeah, and I mean, if I'm Darklings here, I'm going C1, but I'm not going F3. I think I'm C1. I guess I'm C1 G5, I think.
Okay.
I think pretty much all the time,
Probably so. It's
F3, the digging is just so expensive. It's so expensive. Trying to carve yourself out any space, like it's so sad. and you can have a nice town with nomads in the west, and then E10 is just pretty rough, as Darklings. There's probably more early leech on E10, but I think I would just G5 and then like G7 to C1 is my distance. Maybe even late you dig up on like B1 A1 if you have good priest production and stuff. I mean, that's a lot of digging.
Yep.
If because you already have to figure out how to connect, and that's a lot of stuff. But that just puts you in a good position to be able to like fight for distance. Oh, this auction is so brutal. Like I actually kind of I see why Darklings are decent here. I like Mermaids, I like Nomads. Like they all have obviously a decent opening, right? Like Nomads just open Stronghold. Mermaids either get a Spade or Worker Power and Double Dig. Like that's awesome. Like Darklings get Worker Power or Priest. Like there's juicy stuff for them. Someone's asking about the Terra Mystica app. Does it have a good AI? It does not. The AI is like, if you literally like took all the possible moves that you could legally make in Terra Mystica and then just randomized a decision. Like I've seen like first action, they'll buy a bridge and not place it and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just nonsensical.
We were talking about the Terra Mystica app's AI the last time I was on here before the broadcast, and we were just making fun of how the decision tree is terrible. It doesn't make any sense.
No. And they basically, like, the AI is sort of programmed to not give you early leech, which is fine. It needs to do something to make it more challenging, but you just, like, never get any early leech. And then they just, because they have such low economies, they pass really quickly and they take coins basically out of the game every round. And, yeah.
So at least they got that right.
Basically pass early for coins. It's like Simone B if Simone B was bad. That wasn't meant to be a backhanded compliment against Simone B. We're still auctioning. Can we go into neg? Oh, here we go. Okay, who did it?
I was about to say, I feel like at some point, like, do you think if you had a 20-point head start on, the red faction here, you think you could figure out a way to score the points to keep it?
Say that again. Sorry, folks. This is all messed up because of this 5-player shenanigans. This thing does not know how to handle it. I'm Clay on stream right now. I'm literally like moving around the pieces that show like players' usernames and like what faction they're playing. They're like on the wrong faction mats. Anyhow, I one point would have like cared that this was happening on a live stream, but I just don't. All right, cool. We're good. Sorry, what were you saying, Clay?
I mean, I was just wondering, like, if you're 30 points ahead of, the normal Mermaids, Nomads, Darklings, but then you're 20 points ahead of another fan faction, do you think you could figure out a way to keep, the gap to where you could pull out the win? Like, surely there's a way to score enough points somewhere.
Enough.
You think you could figure it out
as the Grey Goats?
Yeah.
Or you mean as one of the bid down factions?
No, like if you were playing the Grey Goats right now, you think you could figure out a way to find like 40 points? 30 points is a lot in Terra Mystica, right? That's a pretty sizable gap, I feel like. I feel like surely if I was in this position, I'd feel pretty good.
Yep.
Just like
maybe.
So you don't even feel that great.
Well, as Gray, like I would love to just grab a power tile and just snap up E7 first action. But I really will want E7 here. Or E9, right? Like I think Gray E9. Yeah, sorry, yeah, you want to dig E9 here because it's going to open up another hacks. Oh, they don't even have enough power to start on 3 power tile and just snap single spade. That's sad.
It's tragic.
Goats cannot spade with their first action. Yeah. I guess they just, I don't even know. I guess the thing is they probably get a spade because if things are breaking down the way we think it is, Nomads don't want a spade. They want like a priest or a coins or something. Mermaids either start with a spade or get double dig, but they're probably not single spading. Right? Like Mermaids are either just like not taking a spade at all because they start with a spade maybe, so they fight for priest or something. or they're getting double dig on worker power. Darklings aren't taking a spade, and architects either start on a spade and do something with it that I don't really know, or they're doing temp ship. Like I don't actually think there's pressure on single spade, so I think if you can get enough leech here, like a single spade is safe, I think.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Whoa,
God,
okay, and right away we see architects though taking the big building tile. Are they
ooh,
opening
could be like a double
stronghold?
temple type thing.
Okay,
No,
okay.
there's no way.
There's no world. There's no world.
I would be, I'd
So
be blown away.
so nomads must take spade. The other interesting thing here is that temp ship is really interesting on this map for nomads.
Yeah,
You just get
especially because they didn't place on E5.
That's right. Oftentimes people kind of do still occupy two of those. I think I was trying to figure out where you start on this map as nomads, and AJ once kind of told me that, and then I saw it happen quite a bit, that like often nomads still just starting on two of the three of those. But in this case, like
Yep.
not starting on them, temp ship is like pretty broken from this position. But anyway, it still takes the spade. Mermaids take a priest. I assume that's a priest to fire one kind of dealio. Okay, and Gray does take temp ship, hoping that just I don't know.
See what happens, kind of thing.
Like, do they even get leech here? Oh, red has to give them leech if red's opening double temple, right? Because like darklings might not dig E6 here. It's not under threat by nomads. Where's darkling's temple going? Not sure. Like, I don't know that Gray can really count on a leech here, other than from C5, a C5 temple, if we're interpreting that two worker tile correctly, or mermaids eventually digging. And he took a priest. Oh, is he going? What do you do anything on two ship?
Nah, I was looking.
What is
It's a
that?
sad world for.
Two ship doesn't open up a hex from the obvious starting spots. That's like really sad news.
It's really sad, and now I mean he's got to get so much power to be able to get some power action spades, and I mean it might be round 3 before he gets enough
takes a
power to do that.
dig. What does he just do? What do you do here as Gray? Okay, so we just see an upgrade from. Am I going to say webberaj? I'm Halai. We should also not forget that Halai taking worker power. Halai took worker power came to second seat. So first point I wanted to make, just to chat about at some point, is that like mermaids chose a priest over worker power double dig, which I always just find amazing on this map, because like they're one of the few factions that 2 digs opens up 3 hexes, and then when you're on worker power, you can build on 3 of them. You can build a temple and then 3 new dwellings. They chose a priest instead.
That's true. If he does go fire 1, though, it is going to come back with 2 workers because he did send it to fire. So there is some.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
There is some consolation there, and it looks like he's still going to get double dig.
It's true. It's true. He won't be able to build 3 dwellings, but he can build 2, and he just gets the workers from fire. Fair enough. Oh, I'm such a jerk. Why is that thing so... Yeah. I don't really know why that did that, guys. There. Here, I'll fix it.
So we get a...
If I had an associate producer, I'd blame them for this, but I can't. There. I'll stop fiddling with it. Is it centered? It's not centered. I gotta move it there. I don't know. The other thing.
It looks like
it. Go ahead.
It looks like at this point, Gray, they don't have any power, so they're not threatening spades. Darklings, I wouldn't expect them to take spades. So now we have nomads, mermaids, and architects. Architects probably won't have enough, power to do a double spade, which is the only spade that unlocks a hex for them. So it looks like the spades are already figured out. Nomads are going to take a single spade, probably on E3, which is, leads to E2 with their spade scroll. And then mermaids can have the double spade. So that is what I'm looking at right now, is how the spade power actions are breaking down.
Sorry, you think nomads are taking, who's taking single spade?
If nomads decide to go not stronghold path, I think nomads take single spade here. I guess because worker actions already out of the table.
Right.
They have a spade in the hand. So what are they going to do with, 2 open yellow hexes? That's kind of dangerous. I feel like Temple Fire 1 is what George is going for. He also loves super economic openings. He doesn't care about any favorite tiles that score points.
I would have been still tempted to open Stronghold here. I guess it's pretty, yeah, I might have taken workers. The other interesting thing here that I wanted to mention is that, like, worker power coming into Darklings, it's like the slightly sadder way to open Sanctuary, but it's technically just as easy as opening with the 2 workers. Your priest becomes a worker, so it's the same. It's just you're down by 3 steps to Earth usually. But so Darklings have enough for Sanctuary opening here. The question is whether they get the coin action.
Oh.
But they have Sanctuary in hand. Their priest is a worker. They burn 3 power tokens, so they have 6 workers and 15 coins.
All right, so we're both wrong. Architects do go stronghold here.
Okay.
The thing we did, kind of forget about having that stronghold is it does give you, like, well, no, I don't even think you needed the stronghold for this, but the bridges allowing you to do easier digs.
Oh.
Maybe that allows for, like, a super, like, you don't have to have a super, explosive opening to keep the engine going. Like, you can have a kind of a slow start like this and yet still be able to bust out some moves.
I think, like, are we talking? So I think what we might see here with architects is would we see something strange like bridge to B6 and then to bridge to B6 and then they can just build 2 dwellings? Is that how that works?
I think so, yeah. If if the spade is free, like they say.
Right. Clay, some folks are saying that your sound is a little off. We might need to.
Yeah, I just I switched a setting. We'll see if that fixes it. They'll have to let me know though.
Okay. For some reason it's like they're saying it's choppy or something. Sorry, folks. I'm just gonna try to take a look at that.
Yeah, Darklings definitely have enough for the Sanctuary, so they got it, which is pretty huge.
Is Clay still sounding strange, folks? Hold on one sec.
Yep, yep.
Sorry about that, folks.
Did we ever get any feedback on that?
Is Clay still sounding kind of sketchy, folks?
I don't want to bother him with the robot voice.
Yeah, it's just Discord is a strange beast to work with sometimes. Darth Clader, is he still Darthy? I don't know. Just to get back to a question from E.T. Shari. Sorry, I'm totally out of the loop in chat. They use the fan factions here. Are they well balanced and used in competitions? Yeah, we're using fan factions here, not because they're bound. Yeah, it's not common that they're used in competitions. The fan factions are pretty new still to BGA, new to the community. People are just trying to figure them out. This is TM Weekend Madness, and so the settings are to create kind of more obscure and interesting game matchups. So this particular game, we started the game with Fire and Ice factions and fan factions available. No Fire and Ice factions were selected. It was just the fan factions. Fire and Ice endgame scoring is also on. So yeah, these are picked not because it's like normal for competitive tournaments to have them in by any stretch. It's done just to sort of try to create some different kind of setups that we usually don't see before. So what else do we see here? So we do see a stronghold as well from Gray, and them getting their 2 priests income. What do we make of that?
That is a wild move. That's all I gotta say. Okay, so yes, red does just get a free spade on C2.
Right. And so they do that. So it's like an action that they still have to take. It's still a dig and build. It just doesn't cost them anything.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, so this has been quite the round one. We're just waiting for Halai to take his second favor. He takes Earth 1. So this is a pretty strong opening for Darklings. Sanctuary open, obviously scores them 5 points right off the bat. Fire 1, Earth 1. Seems pretty solid.
Yeah, now architects can move their bridge again and either, spade another hex, take it, or
Right.
I mean, this now that you see it, it's like, wow, this is actually a very strong opening. The single spade is still there. Is anybody taking that? I mean, if Gray would have just waited, maybe they could have got that single spade. Instead, they go for the stronghold.
The Stronghold culty line. Yeah, deranged. It's Stronghold goats. So they used both of their priests. I mean, they mopped up a couple 3 spots, but that priest to air, it's like it's a little early, right? It's not like they sent a priest to fire and were able to get 2 workers back. Like they're getting a spade going into round 3 and a couple workers going into round 6. Like they have a good cult position here, but I don't know. Those resources are not going to snowball particularly quickly.
Not at all.
The spade
I
is
don't.
okay, but
I mean, they need a single spade either going into next round, or they need, yeah, whether that's power action, the scroll, like they need to figure out how to use these resources next round.
I mean, I think Darklings are just clearly in the best position here, right? Like,
Yeah, that's fair. I like architects actually. I really like architects.
really, so you're warming up to this stronghold option.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna be able to place another bridge this round and build another dwelling. They have a a point lead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they can build a town. Their town might get cut on B3. That'd be pretty sad, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa. So now they're going to take
Oh,
E5.
all right, the town's back in play.
Well, Darklings can nuke it with a dig next turn, though, right? Like, they just have to... Oh, I guess it can be a future sanctuary there.
Yeah.
That's a cool town.
Wait, nomads have enough power to take this though. They have a shipping.
They have
They
a
can
ship
convert
advance.
down. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
it's expensive. Then they're completely out of resources.
oh,
But
I'd take it.
oh yeah.
I'd take it 100%. There's no reason not to.
No.
Slow red down. You kind of need that hex. No, you don't need it, but it helps. Hmm. That's a bold move there by architects.
Okay, and Darklings pass for a worker. Which is kind of sad. Having said that, they will just get to that worker will be a dwelling next turn. Like they can just go D2, E2, E1 next round. So it's not a terrible worker.
Nah. Yeah, deranged says he likes to play from architects. Even if they get burned, make nomads earn it. I feel like if I'm nomads, I'm taking E5, even if architects don't build a bridge there. Like you burn down a lot of power, but an extra worker that first round, or an extra dwelling that first round is just very big. The thing
Yeah,
in this game I would be worried about burning about, I'd be worried about it, but I'd still build E5. His coins are quite low, so you got to be able to balance that.
it's true. I'm not sure about this Fire 1 play from Nomads, to be perfectly honest. I guess it also comes with a worker on the Fire Cult.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a fan.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, this right here is the moment of truth.
Here it is.
I mean, if he passes, Is he passing just for like, worker power in hopes of getting coins or a double spade or something?
Whoa, and he takes the ship tile. Is that,
Okay.
what's the power situation here? Mermaids can take a coin action, but they'd have to burn below 6. Darklings can't. Goats can't. Is that ship VP like? I mean, I guess Nomad's always had a coin action, but so that ship VP is like he's taking a coin action, going to 2 ship and building 2 more dwellings.
That
Oh,
sounds
mermaids are taking coins here. For some reason, I thought their power was going to be like 033.
okay.
Okay. All right, goats. What's the play here, goats? What are we doing? Can we get a spade, please? Send this priest to something.
I can't believe that bridge move paid off. That's brilliant.
That
That's
yeah. That's pretty spicy stuff. And they got two points, right? So they use their stronghold action. They just move the bridge, and then they get points.
right. Okay.
Okay, why are Darklings taking E6 here? Is this just to slow down red, basically? Like, now
Well,
Nomads have E2.
it is connection for them, so
Oh, yeah.
it is kind of important.
I guess. Yeah, probably. Right, because F2 will get taken by, yeah, mermaids. So no coins for George, but he still does a ship and then builds, I think it's a ship and 2 dwellings, maybe a trading post. It's a lot of power tokens to build. You would need 8 coins, so you'd have to burn a few power tokens.
Yeah. He also, so obviously there's not immediate pressure right now on the hex E2 because both him and Darklings want it. So if Darkling's next move is D2, that would give Nomads enough power to double spade. So I don't know. Is that something you would stall for, wait for?
I would definitely it would depend on passing. Like I would rather hard dig it next round or something, I guess. But if Darklings dug D2, I would probably still continue with my ship stuff. And then if they pass ahead of me, I'm just hard digging it this round before I pass out of the round.
Right. Okay.
So I guess doing it now is the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So the shipping line now makes a lot of sense. Well, I guess it always made sense, but now it's perfect because there's no pressure. You'll get a lot more leech when Darklings build D2. You'll have coins to back it up.
All right. Civ's turn, just scrolling down to their faction board here. So we can see what's up. So what are architects up to here?
It's a great question.
So every round they want to use their stronghold to move a bridge and get them a cheap dig.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's economic in that there's it comes with a spade every round. And they get a couple of points. It's a trickle of points. They also have a spade. So what if they used their stronghold to move a bridge to B5 and then did a single spade and took A9? Yeah, okay, there we go.
Yep.
That seems fun. And I know that's the best thing to do here, but it seems like a fun way to use, I don't know, your spade and your ability.
Hmm.
Goats.
Goats are definitely making a play for the Colts. They've got
There it is. Okay, I can calm down. We have a spade, people.
I didn't think they'd get it.
Why didn't they just bridge their AH? Is that a typo? Stronghold, I assume that means. To form a priest town. Put down a third bridge and move around that third bridge. Third bridge. There's only one bridge, Fatty. I might be missing your point. We talking about? Are we talking about red here? Architects? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either.
I don't see how they town. I don't see how anyone here towns. Act 1, okay. And Priest Town. How do they Priest Town? They have 3 structures, a stronghold, and 2 dwellings. How is that a town? I'm totally sleeping on something here. Oh, bridges count as structures. Is that a thing? Yeah, do they? Who did we say that was true for? Yeah, for architects. Their bridges count as structures. Oh, they don't count as structures, they just count as a point of building.
Right.
They still need 4 structures. I see, but good point, Fatty. I wasn't making that connection that if their bridges did count as structures, that would actually be a really dope ability. Maybe that's too strong, but that would be a lot of fun.
The more I see this, everybody carve out space, the more scared I am for mermaids. Like they're still at 6 points, and they lost the top right B5 hex, which is usually a great town spot.
They did, yeah. I wasn't thinking about that. I mean, I guess it was foreseeable that starting at C5, that stretch is pretty nice.
Right.
Especially because they can just build. They still need a 4th structure. I guess they're just they just will build. I don't know where they get a 4th structure here. Like they don't have unlimited bridges. They still only have 3, and 2 are going to go to D4, C2, E5 if they want that to be a town. So if they want this northeastern thing to be a town, they will need a triple dig somewhere. I don't know.
I think I'd rather be in the goat's position than the mermaid's position, just based off like instincts right now. Like the goats, they have 7 workers incoming. They've got 10 coins. They can build a temple next round with that. They can, I don't know. It feels like they'll have a town maybe round 4 or 5, lock up a cult or 2, and I don't know, that's a decent amount of points. They're also on the pass scroll, so they're still getting points.
Yeah, they are.
Also, the thing about dwellings is they're worth 2 power, so it is like easier and faster to get towns by just building a bunch of.
Oh, okay. I totally did not pick that up.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Their stronghold is like a sanctuary, but both of their level 3 structures are nerfed, but their dwellings are bigger.
Right.
It's
very odd.
Yeah, I
Very
don't
odd.
know how good or not good that is, but that's really cool. I have to think about that. Someone's asking about architects and moving bridges once the town has been constructed, which is a good question, and it goes back to something Deranged was sort of suggesting about town configurations. We're just going to look at this.
I'm pretty sure they can.
Where was I reading that? Oh, here it is. You may remove a bridge from a town, though if afterward the marker is still in an area qualifying for a town. Oh wait. You can remove a bridge from a town if afterwards the marker is still in an area qualifying for a town.
Yeah,
okay.
So this is where placing the town tile actually matters.
I see. So you found a town, you overtown on one side of the bridge, and then you can remove the bridge as long as the town is still intact.
Right.
I don't know if that's very cool. Not sure if that allows 2 towns here with architects where we're looking at them, right? C5, B5, A9. We'd want a bridge to B6, and then we could town. but there's no way that we can make that a town by removing a bridge later in the game, really. So I don't think their stronghold is part of a town, and the current structures that they have with the bridge is also part of a town. Drains, you want to spin up a poll for us? Make it good.
Spin a poll up.
Spin a poll.
Can I vote on this poll?
Yeah, I think everyone can. I think even I can vote on it.
Let's go.
Why aren't the Sash 3 power structures feels like an unnecessary... Yeah, it does seem like an unnecessary nerf. It's kind of cool, actually. Like, it's cool. I really like it thematically. Well, not... I don't know. I like it as an idea, but I think it's too harsh on them. I love this idea that all the buildings are the same size. It's very cool. But, yeah, they don't have enough going for them to, I don't think, for us to nerf their buildings like that. Yeah. But it does just mean four dwellings in a row as a town. That's pretty solid.
True.
That's pretty cool, right? Like you can easily like just like town in round 2. Well, again, if you get spades, I guess it's easier said than done when you have no power, but
I gotta say though, it would kind of bother me because I'm always like, it always feels bad when you have a town that's 8 power when you only needed 7 power. So unless you took, Fire 2 where you only need 6 power, you're always gonna have 8 power towns forming your towns.
I guess it's going to be annoying, but that's only bad in a normal faction setup when you like an 8 power town means it's going to be harder to 3 town sometimes, like you'll need an extra temple. Right. But in this case, it's like the total accumulative power that this faction has access to is way more. Cuz you lose 2 with the big buildings and then you just gain 8 with the other structures. So you're up 6. So you can waste. But yeah, it would drive me crazy as well.
It's more of an OCD problem.
Totally.
But you're right. There's technically more, town production on the table.
Yeah, I guess. Because there's,
Maybe 5 towns is possible with the goats.
Well, 17 structures. Right? Times 2 is 34.
Oh, you're 2 power short, unless a landscape costs 2 power. Oh no, that would be way more.
No, you have way more.
You only need.
I mean, with Fire 2 and a landscape, you can like 7 town or something insane. 6, yeah.
You can do 6 because it'd be 36 power.
Okay,
oh my.
We need to play one of those games. You know how when people are trying to test engineers' high score when like at the rest of the table concludes, we have to set up someone who's smart. Figure that out and post that. Make us a 6 town goats game with Fire 2.
Or you could just play the Terra Mystica's app AI and probably achieve it. So
every game, yeah. No, it's totally true.
All right, so we're in the 3rd round. It's time to build some temples. The goats, they're carving out some town space. They got G2. It gets them G1. I'm not loving their game, but I'm loving 42 points.
Well, so. And the thing is, it's like G3 or I6 towns them.
That's true. Yeah,
I guess they will always need Fire 2 in that situation. They can't upgrade a dwelling to a trading post. Like that's not going to help. Like they can only ever get to 6 points of structure. Unless they double bridge, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
Like, because normally if you do a 3 structure town, you can Sanctuary TP and do it Sans Fire 2. But in this case, like that's not a thing. So if you ever want to use either your Sanctuary or your Stronghold's ability, you have to Fire 2. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, no, I follow you.
Yeah. All right.
We can put a poll up if everybody else follows.
Got to get that poll. Sans Fire 2. Fatty's laughing at my French.
Oui.
I don't know why I didn't say without. It's just a weird thing that Anglos in Canada do is just decide to use a French word sometimes when there's an English one that just like means the same thing. I don't know. It's stupid. Anyhow, we see as Fickles would say a favor poll from Nomads.
Favorable.
Jekyll and
And
Fickles are like they are like the authors of Terra Mystica isms, right? Between passing
they're
scroll.
changing the
Oh
language.
yeah. That's how you spell je ne sais quoi, definitely. Oh, that's so great. Fatty, how do you feel about deranged French spelling there? I mean, I know what you mean, but anyhow, so George grabs Earth 1 in advance of a dwelling round. Seems pretty straightforward. El Jazz is taking a temple here, probably just Earth 1. All these people have lots of dwellings to build. Goes Water
Water one.
1. That's cool. Do mermaids build? Does anyone build another temple here? Do mermaids just build another? Yeah, do mermaids build a third temple this round, or is that Crazy Town? I guess Earth 1 for goats here is pretty good. They haven't built any dwellings.
It's true. And there's only one copy left, so it feels good.
Who is winning? The poll ended already? Okay, with 3 votes. Wow, okay. Nomads are just winning here? Are they? Aren't. What's wrong with Darklings here?
You know, one thing about nomads is there's a world where they don't connect.
Yep. Yeah, well, so I guess they need to poke through the north, eh? They need A6. They basically super want A6, and then they'll eventually take A5, but that's...
Yeah.
Because otherwise
I
they're
guess
like
they
triple...
could. Yeah. They might double spade it right now. A5, A6.
Or hard dig it.
Could hard dig it, yeah.
Yeah, hard dig, save your power for coins, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's, I don't know. I don't know what I would have done there.
Yeah.
I will remind our expert community that it's also okay to take spade actions. Spades are good.
Spades are good.
That favor flew down the screen. I'm also going to fix this. Civ took... Oh, what a mess I've got here. My goodness. Civ took Water 1. Seems good. So everyone has a scoring favor, which round 3 is a good time to get one usually. Makes sense. Copy of Water 1 left. That was okay. So mermaids took that through a bonus spade, and then we see Gray securing their dwelling.
Yeah, it's all pretty standard stuff. A couple digs, but
This is great. I mean, and then Halai just grabs Water 1, like he's Sanctuary, Temple, 3 dwelling, end of round 3. That's pretty solid for tall, like a nice tall Darklings game.
yeah, I mean it's also 5 players, and you got Fire 1, Earth 1, and Water 1. That's a recipe for success.
He's super tall. If he's tight on resources, but next round's a dwelling round. He smashes a dwelling down on E1. He can town up for like a ship town, coins, whatever he needs. And then he has 4 workers to build dwellings with if he can reach stuff. A4, A5 seem pretty fun. I don't think he ever gets to A5, but he probably takes A4 next round. I don't really know what Darklings do with the center stuff. Do they try to... It's really awkward. Like, what you hate to do as Darklings is invest too much in shipping. And what's even worse is investing a bunch of stuff into shipping for mermaids to then hard dig B3. But like, if they could ever get those, that would be perfectly solid expansion into the north. If they could grab those blacks next round, it's a dwelling round. They have to figure out where they're gonna dig. I don't know.
How crazy is taking temp ship? He build on G1, and then he can take a priest town after he towns up on E1, and then he can dig H3. I mean, sounds really gross.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think he just takes I think I would take more econ here than a priest town. I would take a ship town here 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like those
yeah, you got to get around the board.
Yeah, it's definitely a dwelling into a ship town. And then I would take A4 and put pressure on George. I mean, George probably just snaps A5 immediately, but like might as well take that hex. Is he just getting on 2 workers? No, it's who's Oh, yeah. He's just getting on the 2 worker tile. This is gross. Come on, Halai, you took that cult step? Oh, it's because architects still haven't used their stronghold ability.
Yeah, they got a bridge. You can't not do that. They also have a couple priests they are surely going to send to the cults.
Yeah, fair enough.
This is looking scary for the goats. I mean, they're losing grip on the cults. The town is still at least I don't think they can get a town next round. So probably round 5 or 6 they'll get a town. They're still in the lead, so
they're back on temp ship. Yeah,
right.
One thing I really don't like is people taking temp ship twice in the same game.
Really?
Nah, I have a thing against that. I can't put it into words. So
never thought about that.
I don't know. It's a little icky. Are we sure goats can't town? Well, they need a spade and a bridge, and fire 2. So that's a lot of stuff. Or a double spade. They need double spade and a bridge, which is a million power. I think they can't town deranged. Double spading G6. Yep. Double spading a single hex in a dwelling round, though. I might just take 2 hexes and build 2 dwellings, and then town later. Yeah, I hear you on their dwellings being 2 power. Totally. F6, G6 would be a town, but I might just dig G3 and something random. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, G1 or not G1, but G3, yeah, it's great. You get a connect. Like who's contesting for like largest distance?
Well, this is the thing. So we should talk a bit about connection because I was just thinking about Red's connection, and you mentioned that Gray are not connected as it stands. So G3 or D6 are Gray's opportunity to connect this game.
Right.
I mean, unless they do some crazy triple digs on F5 or like weird, but like normal stuff here. Like they need G3 or D6. Again, there are triple dig options, but aside from that, Red basically needs D6 to connect. Okay, and they take that right now.
Smart.
Actually, how do they connect even with D6? 3.
Yeah, they're not.
A double dig and 2 ship. Like A7 is a connection hex for them.
Yeah.
Like,
and they obviously G3 could connect them, but I mean they're 2 ships away from even thinking about that.
Man. And then Darklings. So Darklings are connected. I'll say they're connected, meaning that their structures are 3 ships away. They have if they invest the resources, so they're functionally connected. But it'll be interesting to see how well Darklings are able to expand here. Like if they could ever get to the other side of the map somehow, like.
I mean, it looks like even if goats connect, Darklings will have no trouble getting connection over them, whether that's distance or just amount of buildings on the map. Just because, it just feels like Darklings are going to be able to ramp out, a good amount of structures by the end of the game. Whereas goats, they're going to struggle, and I just don't think Red's playing for connection here at all. I don't think it's in the game plan. There's no point. Even if they do connect, there's only like 2 natural red hexes they're going to touch.
Hmm.
from here on out.
Yeah. Um. I mean, gray can get F1 to D7 is 11. That's a nice single spade. I support this. That was a nice spade. Uh. So nomads will connect. I mean, they'll get A5. They'll hard dig if they need to. Red can beat Darklings on distance. Well, where Darklings go is really unclear. I mean, I think Darklings want to will just need a lot of shipping. And can they get I7, I8? I don't know, and just dig can they ever get to the east somehow just by digging through the south? Maybe not. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But if Darklings were could get to A1 and I7, how big is that?
Hmm.
That's
I
10.
feel like that'd be pretty big.
It's 10. Goats are 11 from F1 to D7. Mermaids will still do some distance here. They're still going to get I1 and they still can get A11 probably.
Yeah, I think mermaids are, number one or number two, depending on what nomads, reach out to. I'm not worried about them losing out on it. Yeah, it feels like mermaids are number one in my mind for distance. The problem is I mean, like mermaids, Jazz just doesn't have points.
Yeah, Derange just made that comment. It's El just
Oh, he did.
doesn't have a lot of points. Yeah. Yeah.
He is currently winning 2 colds, and if he wins that distance, so he's still got a lot of points probably, on the table coming up. I don't know. I'd be scared in their position.
This seems nice from Nomads. Back on the ship tile. They just got double dig in a dwelling round. They get out one. They probably get out 2 more dwellings this round. Yeah, they totally do. Yep. Darklings took a ship town. Yeah, Darklings are just tight on resources. I mean, there just aren't that many coins this game, right?
No, it's tough.
It's been tough, and the 2 worker tile's nice, but
Yeah, they could have done a lot of things with that temp ship pass tile.
I guess Darklings here will just dig A4. And then dig they only have coins for 1 more dwelling. And even if they burn power. Oh, B1, this makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, they could also take A4 though, like you said. I didn't think about B1, but B1 definitely makes sense.
Yeah,
Might
under threat by Nomads. Nomads had to took the double spade. Did they need to? I don't know if it was under that much threat or if they could have just built a dwelling.
Did mermaids do the bridge before or after? Yeah, maybe mermaids.
Mermaids could have. Architects also have enough for double dig. So
Yeah,
I guess they had to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fatty's saying
Mermaids were probably interested. Oh, I2 would have been so good for mermaids here. Because that's, a couple hexes.
Yep.
It's a dwelling round.
I mean, they'll hard dig that, right? I mean, they actually have enough to do 2 hard digs and 3 dwellings.
Yeah, but now is F2 under pressure? No, because after this round, I was thinking if goats are looking at F2 for any reason, but they don't have enough, resources now. And after this round, they won't have shipping. So They're fine.
Yeah. So who do we like here?
Oh boy, let's see. I like I'm Darklings and Nomads.
Yeah, me
Everyone
too.
else, I'm suspect about. Architects do have a ton of resources though right now compared to some of these factions. 8 workers, 15 coins. It's the same as the mermaids, I guess, but add 15 points.
Fatty says we like nomads when George took Act 6. Also, he's Canadian. These are true things. I don't like this pass. Thank you for undoing that. Please take call coins here, Halai. Otherwise, I'm a webberaj on you. I know the worker power comes with a coins action, blah, 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 but like, just stop it. Stop it with the silliness and just take the 5 coins that are literally sitting there. So this must be, I mean, he had, so he just did the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get what that was about.
I also agree in this situation. I would think coins are surely better.
Ah, 1, 2, no.
Ooh, look at that bridge action.
Yeah. It is a stronghold round arranged. Are no landscape darklings building a stronghold this game? I don't think they are.
Man, that's. Ooh, is that? Oh, okay, so you're saying he needed the worker? Is
Well, I
that
don't
what we're
know.
getting at?
I'm thinking the 5 coins in the cult step are better than the work or the power of the coin in the coin action. And deranged is saying, "Are you sure Act 4 is bad? The extra worker is also good for a stronghold, and it's a stronghold round. I just don't see a Darkling stronghold coming here. I mean, I guess it's possible. If he takes a coin action, he'll have enough resources for it, but then he's out of coins again. Like I don't see that happening. Yeah, but it's a wash, Fatty, because there's also a value to denying 5 coins to the table, right? In such a low coin game. I'll just parrot your text back to you.
I think
Um,
I'm. I think I'm coming around to the mermaids game. I actually think I like mermaids the best now.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, defend this position. 120 seconds on the
So,
clock while I set up a poll. Go.
so I mean, even if it's only 2 towns, I don't know. It looks like they'll be able to come up with a third town somewhere. I mean, they have a ton of resources. They're leading 2 cults. It looks like Darklings aren't going to do anything on the network. So, it looks like they're competing with Nomads. So obviously, Nomads. If I'm looking at them compared to the Nomads, I mean, I don't know. It's just your instincts of like looking at the resources. They have water one. Nomads have earth one.
Yeah.
There's 2 dwelling rounds. They're in one right now, and then there's one to finish off. So they're going to be scoring for all the dwellings and all the trading posts. Um, Obviously, there's a ship past house. So if he can just land on that once by the end of the game, that could be good for points. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I think he's in a decent situation. I don't think he's going to win the most buildings. I think he's going to win the distance. So he might even out with Nomads there because Nomads might get second place there in distance, but first in total structures. And like the point gap is closing. He's only 10 behind Nomads, but he has, finished a town. I don't know. I'm kind
Well,
of talking myself.
new mod poll is open. Claybo, I'm gonna like who vote. You should vote here. Who are you voting for?
I'll vote. I'll vote. I'll go. Let's just.
Like Darklings are not. They're in trouble, aren't they? I don't. They should be better here. I just hate their expansion. You
Yeah,
know?
I just don't see a lot of end game points coming. It's like obviously they've got, Earth 1, Water 1. They're gonna score a ton there, but
Usually that's a recipe for a good start. Sanctuary open into round 3 temple. Fire 1, Earth 1, Water 1. Town up. Take a nice juicy ship town. Great. That's like usually a good recipe. But then they like get 1 dwelling down in a round 4 dwelling round, even though they had like 3 priests. And then they just are like passed for a coins action. I don't know. I think they just need to start. I don't know what they need to do. They need to upgrade shipping and start digging south.
I just don't see it happening. I actually think Deranged is right. I think we're gonna see a stronghold line. Uh,
What? Really? Where?
I don't know, dude. It's just like if he upgrades shipping, like he doesn't have coins to do anything.
But a stronghold is 9 coins. Like a ship advance and then I6 and then H3. Like try to get I7. Then you can get I8. Like just tuck under mermaids. Try to dig east to get a little distance and some adjacency for another town. Like he has to carve out a second town.
Right.
Right? And oh, nomads can take I7. Oh my gosh. This is so rude. I mean, aren't nomads just winning this?
Oh yeah, he's at 3 ship now.
Like that was a pretty nice round, right? Like got that trading post like went down to 8 dwellings, built a trading post, passes for 9, got the coins tile. I mean, his
Yeah,
cults are a mess, but like he's connected. He's gonna do nomads things on network. His distance is what, H1 to something B4.
yeah.
It's
I'm
probably
back. I'm
not.
back on the match train.
What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not, that's 10. I don't know where we do better than 10. Probably don't, but yeah. Yeah, we don't really do better than 10 probably.
Hmm.
All right, all right. I still have to vote in this. I got to vote in this. Who's winning? I guess nomads.
Yeah, I voted Nomads. I think it'll be within 10 points though between Nomads and Mermaids. It won't be a blowout. Although is that a blowout? I'll say it's within 5.
Then that's definitely not a blowout. Ship VP. Oh, mermaids are on the ship tile. Probably. Yeah. And they have 3 priests, bunch of power, 12 coins. They're getting a ship round. They might
If
even.
Nomads find a third town, it's over. But it looks like both Mermaids and Nomads both have 2 more towns coming in.
Yes. Okay.
And
So
these
this is the thing. Can nomads here go sanctuary stronghold? Because that stronghold is going to be really juicy for distance.
Ooh, yeah, you're
Right?
right.
Like
Yeah,
that's how
they
you
can
push further. You go G5, you go G6, and then you like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
and then you just win the game
And
at
then
that point.
there's your third town. And it's
Right.
8 track points and if you.
Yeah,
So
no.
that's
It
it's a
looks
million
likely.
coins though. That's unless he fire
But he's
twos
got
for a coin town.
yeah, which is honestly reasonable because he doesn't have water 1, so he probably doesn't want to be building a ton of trading posts. Ooh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
killer.
and it does, yeah, it just makes his town's life pretty easy. Sanctuary. Oh, it also actually helps him. Those steps up fire are not insignificant. It comes with a power. It probably just like helps him push for victory on fire. Yeah, I would Sanctuary for fire too. Snap a coin town, stronghold dwelling this round.
Now they're in the game. The players that are playing in the game right now are literally saying, "Yo, cool game, Civ." So is a cool game enough to win, or does that just mean he's doing unique stuff? Like,
I think players are probably just giving him props for playing a fan faction in this competitive format and doing like figuring out a path. Like if it's not a winning path, like it might not be, but it's still like,
Right.
I don't know. Oh, it is a 2-key town. Does that 2-key town leave us with enough power to build a stronghold
You gotta burn down, but yeah.
and nothing for a dwelling? Yeah, it's priests. I guess he can smash a couple priests to earth if he's allowed.
Right.
And I guess Gray late doesn't really want to be spending too many 2-worker priests to fight on a cult. Are
Right.
Gray kind of a roll over and die on the cults? You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
like Darklings, take a 3 spot if you can get it, but they tend to not go priest for a priest for a priest, like kind of Cold War on a cult. So I wonder if like can George just snap up Earth
Probably so.
and just
Yeah,
win 2 cults on top of a 3rd town?
and he just got a ton of power from mermaids digging into F2.
Oh,
Nomads did.
he's juiced. Okay, yeah, let's go. Oh, okay, nomads I think are just mopping this up.
Yeah, no, it's looking real nice now.
Yeah. All right, can we talk a bit about Architect's game? It's easier to talk about nomads because, but we haven't really been following the moving bridges around madness. They built quite a bit of stuff, actually.
They have. And it's on, and you don't normally see these, town placements too, where it stretches from A12 to E11. It's maybe like A12 bridge down D8 and then it cuts over to D7, but I don't know about E11. I don't think I've ever seen that.
No.
It is pretty unique.
I think I've done it on the phone app as Chaos Magicians once.
Classic.
So we see another favor poll. Let me get it in front of my webcam from Architects and Air 1. Just sliding up to that 8th spot. I always love that. Taking an Air 1 that just gives you that worker.
Yep.
It's pretty clean.
Yeah, Darklings have a ton of resources, so now we get to see what he decides to do. I don't know if it's
upgrade shipping and build some dwellings before I lose my mind.
the moment of truth.
I mean, it has to be a ship advance here. And then we just see if mermaids have better stuff to do. I mean, mermaids don't have to hard dig B3. Like, it's not actually helping them for a town. I would just upgrade ship here. I would have just done it really quickly. And then just see if it comes back to me. And if it doesn't, then you just dig in the south. Sorry, Chris. Here's the Architect's stuff.
He's going A4. I love it. I mean, that's got to be Stronghold. That's got to be.
And then just no coins. He'll just have 6 priests and 0 coins.
You nailed it.
That's the game, and then you just dig things to black and not build, I guess, until next round because it's a dwelling round. I don't know.
He was in a tough situation,
Someone help me out with the expression 1,000-yard stare.
1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, Derange is making fun of me, which is fair. He should, but I don't get the joke, and I'm. Oh, there's the fire. There's the goat fire too. I mean, we all knew it was coming, but it's just cool. What did he take? Took a cult town. Still pushing forward on those cults. It's not the greatest 8-pointer, TBH, but So Chris is asking, okay, can't see the Architect's resources, but feels like taking A8 next round and getting up to 3 ship might be worthwhile. Okay. And you're reading that because of the Sanctuary. Oh, because then you can move the bridge from D6 or something. Maybe that's what he's saying. Oh, no, but now you're saying that essay from the architect suggests you're wrong above. Okay. I don't know how to. I might not be following the particular logic here, but we can certainly discuss connection stuff for Civ as architects. Clay, what are your thoughts? A8 is like their connection hex, right? Like it's A8 or bust here, and that's triple dig, and there's no bridge shenanigans you can do to cheapen it up.
Right.
And he's got 12 worker income next round. He does have 7 dwellings on the board, max worker production, and is on step 8 of air. So, he's got workers for days, but are 10 workers worth a dwelling on 8-8? It's pretty.
I think if it scores them, in-game points, I think it's worth it. So it might be. But maybe it's just better just to hold on to all those workers and upgrade your digs and just do something else with it. Because, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough for distance unless he can get to, if he gets a dwelling on I-5, connect that to A-12, that might score second in distance, maybe third.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you just dig it and then just do the math later.
Thanks for the definition, Deranged. I'm not sure what the source is on those, but they're in quotes, so it looks very official. The 1,000-yard stare. 1,000-yard stare or 2,000-yard stare is a phrase often used to describe the blank, unfocused gaze of combatants who have become emotionally detached from the horrors around them. Yeah, that sort of summarizes every game I play against Zvox, so yeah.
Wait, I'm confused by this. They Architects just did a bridge D6 to E8. Is that what is that?
Not super sure. What are they saying at the table?
I have no.
They
idea.
are a bunch of chatty Cathys over here. They just
I
have
know.
been just going hard. We're not gonna run out of towns, are we? That's what Civ is saying in chat. No way. Hell,
I'm
Jazz.
so lost.
I don't.
Is that good?
I don't know, because like where was the bridge before? C5 B5. So they could have just like bridged to D8 instead of E8. I don't really know what that does.
I'm confused. He could have done the thing where he bridges C5 to B6, and then he builds a town there. But he puts the marker in a spot that when he later moves the bridge, like C5 to B5, that's an example of like breaking up a town.
I don't know that I don't know that there's a way to do that though. Like where would
Yeah,
you?
you're right.
But
No, it wouldn't work because that
oh, but he could. The shenanigans could be a C5 to B6 bridge to town up, and then over town. Oh no, then you'd lose your whole town.
yeah.
Is that no? You could have C5 to B6, made it a town. And then you'd have to actually town up over there, like with your expensive trading post and another dig or whatever, and then moved your bridge to C5 to B5 for your next town.
Right.
So he could have played his bridge to like get himself an extra town this round, I think, if I'm understanding that. Yeah, and Deranged is saying it's just points. You get for sure. You do get points for moving your bridges. It just does seem like a curious spot, but maybe none of the other places matter, so he was just doing it to like kind of be funny. So we see the first pass, Goat's pass. That was an 8-point pass onto the spade. So we've got a big building tile open. And George can just pass on it.
My goodness.
Oh, no, he needs to use a stronghold action.
Yeah.
He has to use that stronghold action. So he'll do a stronghold action next and just build a dwelling on like G5 or something, I'm assuming. Yeah, Deranged for sure. It's getting strongholded. Right now I would expect. I mean, I guess George is kind of okay with any of these pass tiles because either he gets unless Darklings pass. I was just looking at red and blue.
This is kind of bad for goats because goats definitely want to buy coins next round. But if Nomad's stronghold G5, now
Oh, that's so dirty. You're so right because like you might as well just take F6. It's a zero cost disruption.
yeah, feels bad.
Yeah. I mean, the other argument though is that if you take G5 and the next round you take F6 and then architects hard dig F7, you're screwed. I mean, not
I mean,
screwed, but I mean, you could hard dig H7, I suppose. But isn't G7 further? Like, isn't the safer play going G5 so that you can G6 and then take F7, but if F7's gone, you can dig G7? Does that actually matter?
maybe so,
Like, the
but
difference between having
if I'm
G7 versus H7 from what's the
right,
furthest from those? I don't know.
probably E2.
E2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So F7 is 11. G7 is 12. What did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. H7 is 11. G7 is further. F7 and H7 are both 11 from
Right. I
E2, but
think
G7 is 12.
unless someone else is contending, I think mermaids beat both of it because mermaids are 13 total.
Yeah.
So
What, are we still going with an A11 to I1?
I just did A10 to I1, which was 13.
Nomads do only have one dwelling left if that helps, but he could dig and decline. But maybe again, that's too risky.
That does help. That does help.
Yeah. I mean, goat might have nothing better to do than just do a double hard dig for a town.
Okay, so mermaids take it, which, that's good for them. They also
Wait,
cashed in on 12 points.
but they passed for the big building tile. I mean, it's not going to score them any points, but I guess there's no other pass tile that's really that good for them unless they
That's
could
right.
get.
They haven't. Yeah, they haven't even built a freaking big building. What are they doing? That's goofy. Hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. Chris Harris is saying that, like, I see. They only have one dwelling left, so they build a dwelling. They don't want to build unnecessary TPs, Clay. So they want to build a dwelling on G5 and then have a neighbor to trading post. Right? Like if they build a dwelling on G5 and then open with a sandstorm on F6, they have to TP elsewhere so that they can then build a dwelling on F6 to have a neighbor to trading post again. Do you see what I'm
You're
saying?
right. Yep.
Yeah. So Goat's safe. Goat gets coins. They get their town, and Nomads just zooms right and may or may not even build on F7 because a hard dig on G7 might be worth it. I know you said that they're not winning, but I don't know like if there's someone else that's at 11 or 12 here that they'd want to be fighting. Probably. Yeah, like Goat's going to be at 11.
Ooh.
Darklings are doing nothing.
Nah.
Nothing. They ain't got nothing. Uh
They didn't do the stronghold, so I don't know if we ever mentioned that. So that's good. You don't have to.
mhm.
It
Conciv.
wasn't an odd round.
Okay, this is once again good for Nomads. George Doug declined to build, so he's actually had to slow play to get the TP tile. So now he's going to bump air for a worker. Or maybe earth to lock it up. I don't know. Probably just air for the worker. And then we'll build his dwelling, probably. so that he gets a free power from Goat.
I think so.
I mean, Goat could be annoying and take a while. I don't know. I guess you probably wouldn't be annoying, as you wouldn't play fire with nomads.
Yeah, it's weird. Like this him building this dwelling or not has like some pretty interesting trickle effects. Like if he builds the dwelling, I think architects end up taking the coins action. But if he doesn't, then the goats take the coins action. So he kind of has influence over that by
Really?
building
I
or
I
not building.
I thought we decided that either way.
I think I don't know. I feel like if you're the goats in the goats position, oh, I see what you're saying. Like you just decline regardless. You decline to build on G5 regardless.
As nomads, I think I do, because there's some worlds I don't think Goat should play chicken with nomads, but there's some worlds where Gray here reads that George really doesn't want to build a trading post anywhere else than G5 and only has so many moves left. Right? So do you know what I mean? Like George doesn't wants F6 an F6 neighbor as quickly as possible so that he can TP on G5, Sandstorm G6, Dwelling, TP, and continue. Um, and he only has so many moves. So this is actually if Gray decides to be a jerk and like slow play, this gives nomads one extra move.
Well, that is exactly what we see.
And
So
George still gets the free power, right? I mean, normally you want to be on a hex before someone else gets there, so you get the free power and not them and all that kind of stuff. And I mean,
right.
he still does get to do that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think this was the right move. It's like one of these like subtle things of like, it's a sort of an advanced kind of thing. Like you're thinking through tempo, control, and all that kind of stuff. And I think this was like the correct play. So I certainly appreciate that. But yeah, this Nomads game is just going pretty swimmingly, wouldn't you say? Like getting the third town, competing for both network and,
Oh yeah.
you
And he's
know,
already locked up,
two cults, pass
damn near.
tile, like, yeah, there's so much good stuff. Yeah, deranged. Yeah, George is a very precise player. webberaj, just playing for edge scoring.
Edge scoring.
Seems like a
That's
thing
right.
I would do for not know.
Weber Edge.
Yeah, not know what Fire and Ice endgame scoring was on.
Right. Dude, a lot of times when I play Fire and Ice extra scoring, I confuse the distance between distance and your Sanctuary Stronghold.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've lost because I'm trying to spread my Sanctuary and Stronghold, and then I realize I didn't need to build my Stronghold as Chaos Magicians. So you gotta pay attention to those kind of things.
So mermaids are just two towning here, right? There's no funky business they're trying to do in the south for a third town. There's no landscape. That seems maybe
I mean, they got a ton of workers. They could just
double hard dig, stronghold, and something else. But
yeah, I don't know.
so they would need a trading post on F2, a dwelling. Then they hard dig a dwelling, stronghold TP. I guess they have the right buildings to do that. They need 16 workers. They're kind of, and if they take a coin town with their first, yeah, it's possible-ish.
It's just not a ton of points for them, unfortunately.
No, it isn't. But the stronghold helps come with a town. It gives them their final ship advance, which they don't have, and it's 4 points because of their pass tile. It's palatable if they've run out of other things to do.
Fair.
And there are some good town. Oh, well, okay, there we go. And we see it.
Fire 2.
Fire 2?
That's
then we're definitely three towning. But then that's so H5 is a sanctuary. Is that what's happening?
Mm-hmm. No, I just think he's doing like trading posts and dwellings.
Trading post and then a hard dig on I6 with a dwelling. And
Yeah.
or sorry, no, if we're not sanctuarying, then it is an H6 dig and a trading post.
Yeah, H6, I9,
I see what you
whatever
mean. So
the
there's
swamp.
still a double dig coming from mermaids, a
Hmm.
trading post, and 2 dwellings. Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, and I9 is better, avoiding give nomads lead, so that makes sense. Okay, so everything happened in the east, kind of like I don't lost track of the order, but Civ did take that extra hex from nomads. Makes sense. I don't think
Mm.
nomads really cares because they want G7 anyhow. They've got their neighbor. And Civ has 2 towns coming in. So point situation here. Civ's got 69 points in a cult. No pass tile. Um. Oh, but of course, okay. So we should have talked about this, and didn't. But is that Civ took A8, which I think was a double dig and a 3 worker dig.
He did do that.
Yeah. Okay. So Civ's connected. I mean, he still has to worry. They still have to worry about 3 shipping, which is not.
Pretty sure.
Which, well, they have 3 priests and 12 coins. How many more resources
True.
do they? Oh, and they don't really need any more resources. Right, they took a coin town, so they have all the resources they need for shipping. They just build a bridge. They have another town. They upgrade ship 3 times, and then they can build another dwelling with their last 3 workers. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that's their game. So that puts them at 14 structures.
Respectable.
An I5 to one of these northeast pieces is probably their furthest distance. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, so they're 11. So they tie goat.
Imagine that.
They tie
Now,
goat on
goat.
distance, and they come in a clean third in network. Or do they tie mermaids in network? Mermaids are getting down 2 structures. So they tie mermaids in network. And so they tie.
Goats have a
Sorry, go
goats
ahead.
have a spade. Goats have a spade in the hand, so they could probably just dig A11. I don't know if that helps their distance, but somewhere surely they can find a place to put this and help their distance. Like if they go A11 to F11, that's 12. So that right there could be pretty big.
A11 to F11?
Yeah, for the goats, because they have a spade in the hand and they don't need it, for a town or
Sorry,
anything.
what was the second hex? There's no F11. You must like what
Oh, not
F1.
not
F1.
F1.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
2. I thought that was like some sideboard expansion map I wasn't aware of. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 12. That does change things drastically.
Mm.
Deranged. Good point. That's a stronghold incoming from Darklings.
No cash. I don't know what that means.
Is that
Halai speaks in interesting. Oh, no coin town. Oh, does he need that to connect or something?
Why would he care about connection? What is he?
I,
What is he connecting?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that Darklings are in a rough situation here.
I couldn't help myself but to advocate for a power town. I probably, as the broadcaster, should not be encouraging moves in the table, but
From one Weber to another Weber.
from
what
exactly from one Weber to another Weber.
Yeah, it's extremely hard to look at all the connections live. Like that's, I wonder how much thought they put into all that. What on earth? He just sent a priest to Earth.
What is this?
At most, it's 2 points. Why not just dig? I guess it could be a 4-point swing, but
A Darkling's Priest to Earth? How is that a 4-point swing?
no, I was saying it could be if like another player passed him, but you know,
Yeah,
don't see it.
I see what you mean. What was that move?
He's trying to get the cash from the power.
Oh, is that because he took a power town, but his cycle was real bad?
I don't know. I think he's raging right now.
Probably. That Priest to Earth seems like something I would do, just like some sus cult stuff. Oh.
Yeah, he's trying to get
Oh, yeah,
to 8.
yeah. H8, obviously. That's just better than G7. Is it? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not. G7 and H8 are the same. Right? Everyone on the same page?
Yeah, it's
Oh, it
probably
gives fewer people each. Yeah. Yep.
I guess 5 players are always generally less scoring because there's
Yeah, totally.
okay.
I
So
mean, there's
these are
just less average endgame scoring to go around. There's less average called scoring, and if you think about it in the opposite, 2-player games scores are outrageous,
oh yeah, okay.
right? The bids were also insanely low. Yeah.
Yeah, because these scores are just all so low,
Oh
but
yeah,
it does
it's terrible. Yeah, like is the winner here going to be 120 points?
possibly so.
Like
Maybe.
nomads do have both of their towns.
Right.
They get, I don't know, 19 cult points. They don't pass for 8. They pass for what, 4?
Yeah, it's not gonna be 8.
No. They build another dwelling. That's 25. They take a priest town. It's 34. So George is 102 plus, I don't know, like endgame, which is, he just like, what does he do? He wins now. I guess that's not actually true. Civ's just getting down to 3 more structures left on their board. If nomads want to tie, why this whole time have I just been assuming nomads were like crushing network and stuff? That's obviously silly me. Nomads get a trading post and another dwelling down and a hard dig. That's 6 workers and the rest of their coins.
Yeah, if nomads don't. Ooh.
Do you know what I mean? Like to get 2 trading
Yeah,
posts and 2 dwellings. I guess he has 3 ship. So
he
if
does.
he took a really like I mean there aren't, I don't know, like took a worker town or a power would a power town would give him enough coins to do 2 trading posts, 2 dwellings and a hard dig. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he has to do a yeah.
Like he has to do a hard dig either way.
Right.
Right? And so he has to do a trading post, a hard dig, and a dwelling. And then he has a town. The question is, does he build another trading post and another dwelling? I think the answer is yes. To get down 3 structures. It's another 2 points on his pass tile. It's another 2 earth. It's another 4 points, earth 1 in the track. So that's what he's doing. It's 2 trading posts and 2 dwellings and a hard dig.
Wait, goats did a hard dig.
An
No,
A.
they took the single spade. They took the single spade, which
Okay.
I think George would have taken that single spade if he could have, because he has. I think he wants those workers because
Really?
like he well yeah because if he hard digs he kills his workers so that he can't build more trading posts and then
I
build out
I
his dwelling to tie.
I think he needs 9 workers, right? So 2 trading posts is 4, 2 dwellings makes it 5, 6, and then he needs 1 hard dig is 9. So I think his priest is a worker, and then he just needs a power town for the coins.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is, he has 7 coins, and he needs 3 more, or 2.5 more, basically, based on his current power. So a power town is like a wasted coin and a half, or something. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he has a free leech in a worker town, or like,
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know, something like that. I don't know that
Well,
single spade necessarily helps. How many points does Civ have? Yeah, sorry folks. Civ's got 92 points in a cult, and is
dude,
and mermaids. Do mermaids have 5, 8 resources? Oh, they totally do. So mermaids are building a trading post, towning up, and building another dwelling. Mermaids are winning network, and nomads and architects are tying for second.
wow.
Right?
Yep, I agree. I would love to see either mermaids or goats win this, but I don't think either of those are happening.
You'd love to see mermaid. Who or goat win this?
Mermaids or goats. I would love to see either of those factions win. I just don't think goats have any in-game score, so like, they're winning now, but not in the end. Uh, they can't. They have Earth 1. Yeah, the goats. There's no way. But if mermaids are outright winning
Net.
both networks, right?
Oh, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Pretty sure.
13. In all our calculations, no one has like nomads can push for 12. Yeah, so they're just getting like 18 and 18, right?
Yeah.
So they get 18 and 18, right?
I
They're
think they
passing
might.
for
I think they.
nothing. They get another
Right.
dwelling. Oh, they don't
They
have Earth
might pull
1.
this out.
It's 82. What are they doing on cults? 4. Oh, they've got a priest they can spare, so they do win water. So they're like 132 here.
That might be enough.
Damn. Remember when it was like round 4 and LGS hadn't scored any points?
Yeah, I remember being on the mermaid ship and then jumping ship too. So
Goats tie on distance by H1.
ooh.
Whoa, 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 whoa. They super would. So this, yeah, I mean, this would be a 10-point dwelling.
Wow, that would be big.
13 delta to mermaids. I mean, it's basically just all their resources. Do they need any more shipping? Oh, they need to upgrade shipping, friends. Right? Yeah, they don't have coins for those shenanigans. They actually.
Oh, that means Weber doesn't. That means Weber can upgrade his ship. He
Oh,
doesn't.
sorry.
Oh
What am
no,
I
he
talking
can't.
about?
Never mind.
Sorry, I just want to close the loop on Gray. Gray does have I think the coins for this because they have a spade, so it's a spade and a hard dig, and then they build a dwelling, and then they probably have just enough resources. Yeah, deranged. I think with the spade they can. What would they need? They need 3, 4, 5, 6. They need 11 resources. Yeah, they're left with a coin after that. So yeah, they totally can. So I think there's like, what else would they do?
Incredible.
So mermaids are now 129.
So can George make up 50 points to get to 129? He's
Well,
got 6.
George builds a trading post here and a dwelling. So he passes for 6, right? And builds a dwelling, Earth 1 backed. And then he comes in, ties in second in network. I keep saying this, assuming that Civ is building. Yeah, they're still building on I5 here. So then they tie for second on network, which is then only 9 points. Yeah, good call. Who was that? L4. Yeah, yeah, good spot. Um, and then I
Ooh,
actually forget how I think Nomad's fire and ice scoring is not great, right? Because then they're just getting third.
I think. Okay.
They're getting
Say
third.
the question again. Yeah.
Yeah, they're tying for second in network and only getting third in fire and ice scoring, so they're only getting 15 endgame points plus 2 cults. Yeah, that's a buck 23. Sorry, that was a little Canadiana for everyone. A dollar. What did I say that was? $1.23. Yeah,
$1.
a dollar.
Bro,
Uh,
we do not we do not sound like that much of a weirdo when we say that.
I don't know. I know Americans say dollar.
Like that. Like a
Dollar. You just talk normally, is what you're saying. Um,
dollar.
a,
Give me $1.
a dollar. I don't know. So they talk in the South. Where are you from,
Yeah.
Claybo?
I'm from I'm from Georgia, the South.
That's Southish, but that's not. Is that super? That's.
It's considered the South. Yeah.
But it's not
We got
like twangy accents and like lemonade and vibes like that, is it?
you go a couple hours south and you hit the twang.
You hit twang. All right.
You hit twang, yeah. Oil, water.
Water. Yep.
Nah, I don't know. Bailey, she's sitting right next to me. She's got the twang.
Oh, she's got the twang. She's got that southern charm, does she?
Yeah,
Does Bailey rip Terra?
dude, she's played a couple games. She's actually beaten me with Swarmlings a couple times, and I refuse to
Whoa.
play.
Yeah. You just
Yeah,
rage quit. You can't allow that.
yeah, I play bow rage.
Yeah.
Mm, dang, no.
That
Wow.
pass.
Oh, the block! I was wondering if we'd see a block. We got a block.
Whoa, we're gonna block. Is that because Darklings are trying to like?
That's that's got to be game winning for mermaids. It's got to be.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Also, wait, why didn't mermaids use their priest? Because it doesn't matter. You're right. I'm so used to.
It's super greedy, right? But like they have a resource point, so they can and like
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's not actually that sketchy. Like there's literally no
Mhm.
possibility.
I was used to 4 player seeing like people at the 0 points in the Colts, and I'm like, just go up in the Colts. It's 2 points, but then it's 5 player. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. So I assume that Darklings were trying to preserve. Did that knock Nomads down behind Darklings enough for them to get a second tier or something?
Oh yeah.
Probably
Oh yeah.
third. I don't
I
know.
I think that moved nomads from first to second, maybe
No,
first.
I think Nomads were always second behind Mermaids. I
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
I think. I had Mermaids at I forget what it was. High 120s, early 130s, and then when I was making those jokes earlier, it was like 123. I think. We'll see as this is coming in.
Good game.
I have no idea the actual place order of this. I think it's Mermaids, Darklings, Goats last.
Poor goats. Dinion Geifer.
Yeah, Dinny and Giefer, as they say in the South,
As they say.
as they say in Georgia,
Right.
but only 2 hours south of you. You have to drive 2 hours south of Claybo to get the Dinny and Giefer crowd.
So,
Okay. What else needs to be counted here? This is the distance coming in. Okay. Whoa. Wait. Did Goats win?
what did I say? I wish
What? I'm so
I said
sorry, everyone, for being like.
so happy. I said I wish goats or mermaids won. And what do we get? Goats and mermaids top two. That's incredible.
I'm
JDI's
JDI. I'm so sorry when you watch this stream afterwards. You know, we spent the entire time just feeling bad for you and talking about like who was going to win between mermaids and nomads. Um, okay, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, he got tied for that distance. That was the end game that he needed. And he actually got a decent amount of cult points.
I'm just gonna see if JDI can jump into VC.
Mm. Wow.
Uh
I'm gonna go look at these. Everybody loves the coin breakdown. Let's see what everybody got.
yeah.
Everybody got a coins action except Weber AJ got two of them. So
Yeah, I did. Um,
yeah, the bids. Somebody was asking about the bids. Darkling started at 5, Nomads 11, Mermaids at 10, Architects at 21, and then the Goats at 40. Oh my! Wow, 30 points on Mermaids. That's insane.
so how did I'm just so JDI can't join us. He doesn't have enough time. I'm gonna see if Al Jazz wants to jump in and complain about something. Um, how did that dig affect things? It actually, it didn't really. It didn't help Darklings. If Darklings had dug literally anything else, they still get 2 points, right? And then, uh, okay. Anyhow, I'll have to figure that out before we wrap this stream up. But it's Al Jazz jumping into chat here.
Yeah.
Hey, Al Jazz.
Hello.
Congratulations on your second there and for coming so close here. That was honestly toward the bitter end. We had no idea that like JDI was winning this. We were spending most of our energy trying to calc things out between you and George. Did you see Gray coming for you here?
Did I see what?
Did you see the we've been referring to the faction as goats, the Gray faction,
Oh yeah.
JDI. Did you see Gray coming for you?
Um, I thought it was close, and I did see. I don't know if you're referring to like them winning overall, or
Yeah, exactly.
um, yeah. It felt like there were the all the all the points were kind of like divided up pretty evenly amongst everybody. Like um, only Darkwings were able to get two scoring favors, other than I guess the Architects got the passing one.
Yeah, Air One, right?
And then like the passing tiles, like nobody was really able to dominate those, so everything was getting um, kind of evenly spread out, which kind of
Mhm.
led to this I don't know low scoring game, I guess, with it being 5 player. Like the points are just being spread out between everybody, so it felt like they had a chance with the Colts as well. They had a couple Colts, but then George took a couple of those. I thought George was going to be the one who was in the lead, but I didn't notice until like the very last round that the goats were going to be able to tie me for the distance.
Right,
Um,
right.
and had I noticed that, I might have tried to dig that green hex in the north.
A11, yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I just didn't. I just thought I was going to win that outright.
Well, same here, and we sort of saw that as a possibility of them being able to dig A11, like, you know, if they got the ship and were able to get tempo on it from you and stuff. But what it didn't dawn on either of us, and it was, I believe, L4 in chat that pointed out the H1 dig. That I completely didn't see.
Yeah, that I didn't
Even if
see.
they got A11, I think, like, you know, you still beat them or something, and maybe that's not true, but I think you
Yeah,
like A11 to F1 is still less than A10 to I1 kind of thing. And I definitely
yeah,
didn't see both of those digs coming out.
yeah. When they dug A11, I thought to myself, oh, they're gonna tie George. Or they could tie George for like that distance for second. But then I looked harder and I was like, I was kind of worried about them building a temple and taking the water cult.
Yeah.
But then I kind of started looking more and I was like, oh, they don't have any trading posts on the board.
Right.
And they don't have water one, so they're probably not going to do that. And then I was like, well, what are they going to do? And then I realized, like, oh, they're just going to double dig that yellow hex. Like, that's exactly what they had enough to do and advance ship.
Right. Yeah. Being on that spade really mattered for them. Because at first someone mentioned it in chat and I counted the resources and I was like, oh, no, they still have to upgrade ship. They're short. And then it was like, then we saw the spade.
Yeah.
So that turned out to be a pretty decent pass tile to end up getting on. Like they didn't get a points pass tile in the last round. They got a spade, but that spade they were able to use for like make it worth their while for sure, which you're not always able to do in the last round. So
yeah, and this is kind of the problem with having goats in the games. I feel is they're just kind of permanently first in turn order because their economy is so bad that they're just like stunted so harshly that they just always go first.
I see.
And I feel like that happened in this game where they were first in the last 2 or 3 rounds, which just kind of makes it weird. I feel. I don't know.
Right, like they have a lot of first round turn tempo just because they don't have that many resources, so they're done sooner. Like that kind of yeah, and then they just pass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
so
for sure.
You kind of lose the some of the you lose some of the tension on like who's going to pass first because nobody's really like passing early to try to get a coins action because the goats are just passed. They've already passed 3 turns ago.
Right. Yeah, interesting. Well, let me ask you this: like, what was your? I'm just sort of always curious about this. Like, as you were bidding, right? What was sort of your plan with mermaids as you were locked into them going into this? And like, did that kind of shift much throughout this game? Like, did you expect to be in the south with that third town? I'm just curious what your game plan was initially and how that may have changed as things progressed.
I didn't expect, or I didn't envision, like at the beginning of the game, I didn't expect to be going for a third town in the south. But most of my bidding was mainly on that I knew I would be competitive on both endgame scoring,
yeah, absolutely,
network and distance. I just felt like mermaids were good for 30 points from those 2 things.
Right.
I figured I'd be able to at least. I thought nomads would be more competitive for network. I thought they might open with a stronghold, and had they done that, they probably could have gotten more structures down. I kind of decided in round 4 that like a sanctuary was just going to make it so that I didn't win
right
network race. So I was just like, I'm just going to build all the small buildings and forget about
just
those.
leave the 2 big ones. Yeah.
So that was kind of my bid. Was I felt like I had a good chance again, just like last week's game. I had a good chance for the double dig action since Architects took the big building tile. I didn't think that they were going to take Act 6, even if they had the power to do it.
Right.
And then just making sure that I got like 30-ish points from the scoring conditions at the end, not counting cults. It felt like that would be enough, and it almost was.
Right. Clay, I don't mean to be hogging the mic. What questions do you have here for El Jazz?
I mean, I was just reading the chat, so I'll regurgitate what Chickens wanted to know.
Yeah.
I gotta say, El Jazz, it's good to chat again. I think the last time we chatted was years ago playing Merchants with Logus.
I know.
I think he kicked both of our butts that game. But no, someone was asking, why'd you take the Priest the first round over the Power Worker to start the game?
I was just expecting to. So I didn't think the Power Worker was going to do much. like taking the I knew I wanted to take fire 1, so a priest was effectively 2 workers, and some kind of advantage on the fire cult.
Yep.
Whereas worker power was just a worker and like kind of guaranteeing Act 6 if I wanted it. But I felt like I was going to get it anyway with just the priest.
Right.
So I don't. I guess I could have put down the way that I dug in the first round. I dug so that I knew I wasn't going to have enough to build a 3rd dwelling. So
Right. You wanted the
it
2
didn't really make sense.
greens.
Yeah, so I just dug the 2 greens. If I had the extra worker from the worker power, I could have put down 3 dwellings.
Right.
But I guess it's kind of a wash in terms of workers.
Right.
Because the dwelling that you put down gets you that 2nd worker that you would have gotten.
Yep.
So I guess I feel like it was just advantage on fire and being able to get that. There was no other real incentive to go up the fire track. So it felt like if I went up there early, I would get a couple workers and I'd probably end up with 4 to 8 points if I won the call.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. How much further were you willing to bid on mermaids before jumping over to the goats?
I was pretty close. I was pretty close to going to. Well, I probably would have been a couple more times on the architects.
Okay.
And then I think I would have gone to the goats. My feelings in the chat were, or when the auction was happening, was I'll bid like 2 more points on the architects, and then I'm probably gonna get out of the auction.
Right.
It felt like it was close. I feel like Darklings had a better plan here. They probably are better off if you just take C1 and something on the east.
Yeah, I think so too.
The middle is so cramped with. There's nowhere to go in that center area.
No, it's really rough. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, well, very cool.
I think that's what I was bidding on for Darklings, at least when they went down to like 5 points. I was like, that's what I'll do.
Would have been a C1 G5 start here for you as Darklings.
Probably.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, cool. Well, again, 1 point away from a victory here is nothing to shake a stick at. So congratulations for fighting a tough game here and almost eking it out as mermaids.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, for sure. Claybo, any sort of final questions for Aljaz before we wrap things up?
No, just congrats on the 2nd place in a extremely wild game.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah, I'll probably try to listen through the cast just to hear what was going on, because
I will
this
say
is the first 5-player one that I think we've done casted.
Yes.
I was Team Mermaids for about 20 seconds at one point in the stream. So,
right.
Do what?
Remember that. I was on your side.
Claybo did. He turned at some point to mermaids. I didn't see it, but he had your back for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was great. Well, cool. Well, thanks again for jumping on and chatting with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. You have a good evening.
All right. Have a good one.
Cool. Well, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Congratulations to JDI, who didn't have time to jump in, but congratulations on winning Battle for the Scroll this week. And hopefully we'll see you folks back next week. For folks who are newer to this is sort of a weekly thing that's going on. If you're not part of the Discord, jump in there. In the next scene, sort of as we wrap up in the credits, there'll be a link to the Discord, so please jump in there. You'll get notifications for registering for the ladder if you want to do that, and just for stream times and stuff like that. And finally, Claybo, thanks again for doing this. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for bringing me on.
Awesome. Well, with that, I'll say thanks again to everyone in chat, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.